Hi, today I'm going to talk about resistors a little bit with you. So this is for all of you that would rather watch and learn and take notes. This is about resistors. If you're in class or if you're watching while I'm in the live session, that's fine too. Resistors. So I don't know who had the slides for resistors. I can't remember that. It's hard when I don't see your face. I'm really good with names. I know who you are. When you're in the room, I can tell, or if you're at home, I can tell, but right now it's escaping me. So, but we had somebody that had the resistor slide and they had updated it with the definition, and that was a great definition. So resistors are everywhere. Like we use them all the time in this class. They're going to be used to drop the voltage going through components to keep them safe. Our LEDs that we have, they have resistors. They need resistors to make sure they have the right voltage so they don't fry. They are, this is a little tiny programming board for like a Raspberry Pi, and there's a little tiny one that's on here that's just a little tiny black dot, and there's some more on here as well on a different board. So they are everywhere, and they come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. So this is from SparkFun. They sell things, and they also have tremendous tutorials that can take you down all kinds of different adventures if you like. So they have a table of contents on the right. So we're going to go down to the basics. With the basics, we have that the big idea here is that it's going to limit the flow of electrons, which is electricity flowing. So we're going to limit the flow of electrons, and by doing that, we're going to change the voltage that's on the other end of that resistor. They're passive components. They only consume power. They don't produce power, and they're not polarized, so we can put them in either way. They have two ends. Doesn't matter if they're plugged in this way or this way, it will not matter. The resistor, we have a measurement that's in ohms. So ohms is our unit of measure for resistance. We have an ohm meter that measures resistance with our multimeter built into it. And things like kilo ohms, mega ohms, those are thousands and millions or giga billions of ohms. So we have the SI prefix in front of those. The schematics here, the way that we're going to go through and all the documentation that I have, it's going to have that the squiggly, which is on the left side of the screen there, the R1 with the squiggly line that goes up and down. That's how I have all my documents labeled for what a resistor looks like on a printed sheet. So 1000 ohms is the resistance of this R1, resistor number 1, 1000 ohms, 1K, 1000 ohms. R2, we have a different symbol, and it's just kind of a rectangle, and it says 47K ohms, so 47,000 ohms. So they say this is the American style, and this is international, and I'd say that's probably fairly true. If we look at this figure down here, how many resistors do you see? Hopefully you can see that there's 1, 2, and 3, and they're labeled that way. 1, 2, and 3 on this. And this is going to a small chip timer, 555, which is a type of small chip timer that goes in the middle of a breadboard. So we use these little resistors all the time. The different types, we have a couple of different types. We have what we call a through hole, where it's going to poke through a breadboard. It's going to poke into a breadboard, or into what we call a proto board, which actually has holes in it. So we can poke through and we can solder that onto the proto board. And then we have little tiny ones, these SMD, surface mount device, these little tiny, really, really tiny resistors that, I don't even know if you can see it. Nope. It's this little tiny black piece on here that's very small. So this is a 0.0603. So I believe that would be 0.6 of a millimeter by 0.3 of a millimeter in length. So very small. It's sitting on top of a quarter to give you an idea of how big that is, or small. Inside of that resistor, we have carbon, metal, or metal oxide film. Thin film of conductive, though still resistive material, is wrapped around in a helix through an insulating material. So that's what most of the through hole or the common resistors that we use. So they have like a cross section here of what those look like. And we have red, violet, black. So that looks like 27 ohms. And we have orange, orange, brown. That was in our Tinkercad, so that's 330. And orange, orange, green. That's going to be 33 times probably a million or 100,000. So either 3.3 million right there or 33 million. So it's 3.3. So that's how they have that wrapped in a helix on the inside of there to form the resistor. Some other ones that we don't really use are these that have 5 resistors built into them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the input here. Potentiometers. If you have like a dial on something that has a physical stop at one point and another stop at the other, that would be a potentiometer most times. Old car radios, you'd have to actually physically turn the dial and it would stop. Your dash dials now probably actually have like an unlimited amount of spinning that they can do before, you know, you can just sit there and spin them if it's off. And so that would not be a potentiometer. They're going to have a physical stop on either end. And all that's doing is changing the resistance when you turn the dial. And we're going to get into looking at the bands or the stripes of our resistors. So if I look at these, all of these up here have color patterns on them, and that's a normal half watt, quarter watt resistor, and it's going to have these different colors: red, black, black, gold, brown, black, blue, gold. So it's going to have about 9 colors, and then it's going to have a gold or a silver stripe on an end of it. So we're going to look at 4-band resistors. These 5 and 6s are for some other things that we don't do a lot with, but they are out there. We have a couple of 5-band resistors that are in a box, and they just have some other things with them. They're a little bit more specific. So the 4 bands, the biggest thing is we got to always make sure that the gold or silver stripe is to the right. As we're looking at it, the gold or silver stripe is to the right. I see I have yellow, violet, red. So I have 47 times 100, which is red. And I get 4,700. And we'll be able to memorize this eventually. So yellow, violet, red. So 4 and 7 becomes 47. Red is 100. So 47 times 100 is 4.7K. There's a mnemonic to help us memorize this. They have one here. Big brown rabbits often yielded great big vocal groans when gingerly snapped. So black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, gray, white, gold, silver. So that's what that means. You can come up with a different one too if you want to. So if we look at this picture, this is like looking at some different resistors. A 4-band, that's the important one here, 5 and 6. So let's look at the 4. If I follow the line down, I see I have a brown. Go to my chart, I got 1. Go to black, follow it down. Black is 0. So I have 10 times orange, my multiplier, my orange, 1,000. So 10 times 1,000 equals 10,000. If I look at orange, orange, brown, like we had on our circuits, we had orange 3, orange 3, brown 10. So 33 times 10 is 330. So at the start, it's going to be a lot of remembering the order, coming up with some way to remember that if you want to. So we can look at and check orange, orange, brown. Here, let's reset this. Orange, orange, brown, 330 plus or minus. So that gold is going to be how close is that resistor to the actual value. So 5% of 330 is like 16.5 ohms. Half of 330 would be 3 or 160, I think, 165. So 5% would be 16.5 ohms. So anywhere between 115 ohms and 345 is where that range would be, that resistor would be manufactured in a big factory, very cheap, very fast. So that gold or silver is just trying to tell you that this resistor is closer to that value or it's not with a silver stripe. And there might be a little bit more of a change or less desirable voltage because of that different stripe at the end, gold or silver. The closer it is, probably the more precise your instrumentation will read for the desired voltage. So that's what we have. I'm going to stop there. Took you long enough to get here. So hopefully you kind of keep looking through some of this. But where we'll pick back up is about resistors in series and parallel. So stay tuned for next time. Have a great rest of your day.